Hello. We're looking at Norfolk today. Don't worry, you weren't lagging. They really do talk that slowly there. Just to give you some idea, this is sort of the conversation I heard in Norwich one day. Just to give you an idea. Here. Yeah. You watched that program last night? What program was that then? Well, last night on the television, I watched a program. What were you about? Well, this program last night on the television, it was really interesting. And I get the impression that this can go on for hours and hours without any meaningful information being imparted by either side. And what's really needed is someone who's not from that part of the country to give them both a slap and say, get to the bloody point before one of you dies of old age. But of course it'll never happen because all the locals are too busy trying to keep up with the two motor mouths that are in front of them. So, famous Norfolk people. Nelson, as in Lord Nelson, Battle of Trafalgar Nelson, that one. Apparently he's from Norfolk, and you're reminded of this as soon as you enter the county. It says Norfolk, the Nelson County, and they push it all the time. And unfortunately, there's not really anyone else apart from possibly Stephen Fry, who's from Norwich. But you don't really associate him being from Norfolk because he's awfully educated and well-spoken, and he's a bit of a national treasure at the moment. The other possibly famous person who you might have heard about from Norfolk is Bernard Matthews. Only because he had a farm and some dreadful adverts in the 70s where he spent all his time just saying he's beautiful. And because it's sort of flat there's lots of agricultural land and airport bases because it's also close to Europe. There's also a fairly well-known agricultural college in Wymondham, and please note our transatlantic cousins, this is pronounced Wymondham and not Wymondham. Now you know. Whilst on the subject of geography, the so-called Champagne coast goes from the whole of the north coast of Norfolk down to about Hemsby. Obviously it doesn't go as far as Great Yarmouth because that's a shit place. And the further down the coast you go, it just gets shittier until you get to Lowestoft. For some reason, I don't know why Great Yarmouth is so popular. It's just loud and in your face and hectic, and there's no possible way to get any peace and quiet there at all. When you go further around the coast, up to the north side, there are some spectacularly beautiful properties there, and for some of them you sort of need to win the lottery twice to be able to afford one. One of my favourite stories about Norfolk is the so-called NFN scandal. In about the year 2000, the Freedom of Information Act was passed, and this enabled normal people to inquire to anyone like government agencies, what information do you have about me? And what happened was a lot of people from Norfolk, they were applying for their medical records, and they noticed that in the top corner there were the letters NFN. And a few people asked what this meant, and they never really got a very good answer at first. And because they never got a good answer, they thought they were hiding something, and so the calls became louder and louder and more frequent. What does NFN mean? And eventually someone told them what NFN meant. And NFN, in all honesty, stands for Normal for Norfolk, which means that the people are a bit slow and a bit dopey and a bit kind of, I don't want to say they're inbred hillbillies, but let's just say there's an awful lot of banjo players there. But this is normal for Norfolk. Now, at first, they were really offended about this and up in arms, and it was a big scandal. But to their great credit, they owned it and took it on as part of their identity, and they're very proud now of being normal from Norfolk. Now, it doesn't always work. So if you think of somewhere like Essex, they've tried to own the kind of Essex way and they're all about Essex, but at the end of the day they're still a bunch of chavs. So well done, Norfolk. The last thing we have to mention is probably best left till last, and that's a word or an expression that is used to describe a certain type of female that you will often see around Norfolk, especially Norwich Way. And these are the ones who are not skinny, they're quite portly, quite chubby, but they walk around in like belly-free tops and mini skirts with horrible legs sticking out, and these are affectionately referred to as Norfolk dumplings. So if you hear anyone talking about Norfolk dumplings, you know what to expect. Not really sure what else we can say about Norfolk. If you want to go on holiday there, it's lovely. It really is. There's some lovely coastline, some lovely countryside, and the people are kind of friendly. Yeah, they're not unfriendly, but they are just so mind-numbingly slow. So be prepared for that and have a nice time. Bye for now.